The story is set in 1943, when Nazi Germany grows increasingly frustrated with Allied prisoners of war who keep escaping from camps across the Reich. They decide to move the prisoners to a new high-security camp under the command of Luftwaffe Colonel von Luger. As soon as they arrive, the Allied soldiers immediately assess the situation and survey the area. They have only one thing in mind: how to escape this camp. According to military rules, every prisoner of war has a duty to keep trying to escape from enemy captivity. That's exactly what each person here does, including Captain Hiltz, an American Air Force officer. Cleverly, he pretends to play baseball while secretly measuring the barbed wire fence and studying the blind spots not covered by the guard towers. But since it's still broad daylight, the guards notice him and open fire. Captain Hiltz runs off in fear. Hiltz isn't the only one. Other prisoners also begin executing their own escape plans. Danny poses as a Soviet prisoner working as a carpenter. Willie then asks his friend to stage a fight so they can escape using a truck. As the fake fight breaks out, Willie quickly climbs onto the truck, while Danny rushes to blend in with the group of carpenters. Unfortunately, the Nazis already study the prisoners' behavior closely and manage to foil all escape attempts that day.
Get out, Cedric. Hold it!
The most closely watched are Ives and Hiltz, both known for their frequent escape records from German camps. They are thrown into solitary confinement. Inside solitary, Captain Hiltz and Ives get to know each other and become close friends. They feel grateful that they're still under the custody of the German Air Force, not the Gestapo or the SS, who often execute prisoners on the spot. Meanwhile, the senior Allied officer, Captain Ramsey, is summoned by Colonel von Luger. The colonel warns him to keep the men from causing too much trouble with their escape attempts. If things get out of control, the SS might take over the camp, and if that happens, the prisoner's fate will be far worse. Interestingly, von Luger also shows a bit of sympathy. As a pilot himself, he understands what Allied airmen are going through. Not long after, an SS car arrives with a new prisoner named Roger Bartlett, who has been held in SS custody until now. No one knows exactly what happened to him, but he looks weak and worn out. Fortunately, he's now transferred to this more humane camp and joins the other Allied pilots.
If you escape again, you will be shot.
Hitler.
Roger's arrival brings new hope. He's a brilliant leader and a master escape artist. He believes the Germans make a huge mistake by gathering all the troublemaker prisoners in one place. Roger immediately puts together a super team, prisoners with special skills to support a massive escape plan. Danny and Willie are assigned as tunnel diggers, relying on their experience and courage to break through the dense earth beneath the camp. Lieutenant Hendley, the skilled scrounger, is in charge of stealing vital supplies like compasses, maps, and travel gear. Griffith, a talented tailor, is tasked with making fake German uniforms so the escapees can blend in convincingly. Meanwhile, Colin, the document expert, is trusted with forging passports and fake IDs to support the prisoners' disguises once outside the camp. Roger devises a bold strategy: dig 3 tunnels at once, and on one night, help 250 prisoners escape together.
How many men do you plan to take out, Roger?
250.
A few weeks later, Hiltz is released from solitary and joins the officers' meeting. Unexpectedly, Hiltz and Ives reveal they have their own escape plan and aren't willing to wait for Roger's tunnels. Although the officers are skeptical, the two friends go through with it. But they're quickly captured again and sent back to solitary. Still, Roger sees their attempt as helpful. Their escape distracts the guards, giving the main team more time to dig around the clock. Meanwhile, the other prisoners pitch in. Some sing to cover the digging noise. Others signal when guards are nearby. And Hendley even manages to befriend a dim-witted guard he often plays tricks on. One day, Henley steals the guard's wallet and hands it to Colin, who creates a perfect replica. Day by day, the prisoners collect wood to support the tunnels. Eventually, one of the tunnels reaches 100 meters and breaks through to the forest beyond the camp. Roger decides to shut down the other two tunnels and focus entirely on the one that's complete. A few weeks later, Hiltz and Ives are released from solitary. Hiltz reports to Roger and tells him he plans to try escaping again. This time, though, Roger asks Hiltz to gather intel if he gets caught again, specifically to map the area and memorize local train schedules. Hiltz feels like he's being sacrificed and refuses to help. He cancels his escape plan.
It's completely understandable.
Well, okay then.
A few days later, the American soldiers realize the 4th of July is just around the corner. They decide to celebrate quietly and brew potato liquor. When Independence Day arrives, the 3 Americans throw a small party, and the other prisoners join in outside the barracks. But in the middle of the celebration, disaster strikes. The guards discover the main tunnel and immediately shut it down. The news crushes everyone, especially Ives, who takes it the hardest. Mentally broken, he climbs the fence in a desperate attempt to escape, and the guards shoot him on sight. Ives' death hits Captain Hiltz hard. He finally agrees to Roger's plan and volunteers to act as a decoy. If caught again, he promises to map the surroundings, identify train routes, and gather as much useful information as possible to help future escapees. Roger understands how Ives' death could damage morale. He quickly orders the second tunnel reopened and the digging to resume. That night, Hiltz successfully escapes and makes it past the outer fence. The next day, he intentionally gets captured again and sends Roger a subtle signal. His mission is a success. Meanwhile, Danny and Willie keep digging non-stop. But trouble hits when Colin's vision begins to fail. After spending so many nights working in low light, he can no longer read or forge fine details, which puts a major dent in the escape plan. That night, Danny tries to run away on his own, but Willie catches him just in time and stops him. Danny finally admits he's overwhelmed and confesses he suffers from claustrophobia. He's terrified of tight spaces. Willie insists he stay and finish what they started, not just for themselves, but for all the others depending on them. Meanwhile, Roger meets with Colin and firmly tells him he can't join the escape. He believes Colin will only slow the others down. But Hendley, Colin's close friend, convinces Roger to let him come, promising he'll take full responsibility for Colin if they make it out. A few days later, Captain Hiltz is released from isolation. By then, Roger's team is nearly ready. The escape plan is 95% complete, and the tunnel has already reached the edge of the forest. That night, the prisoners put on fake German uniforms crafted by Griffith. One by one, they begin quietly entering the tunnel. Captain Hiltz is the first to open the tunnel exit, but they realize they've miscalculated. The tunnel is still about 8 meters short of the forest. If they surface now, they'll emerge at the tree line, fully visible and at high risk of being caught. Hiltz quickly reports back to Roger, but Roger insists the escape must happen that night. Their forged documents are dated for the next day, and Colin, now nearly blind, can't create new ones. Hiltz volunteers to go out first. He sets up a rope signal system for the others. From the barracks, the prisoners start sliding down into the underground tunnel, one after another.
In here, Colin.
The escape is tense but smooth. The guards remain unaware. Suddenly, air raid sirens go off. Allied forces are bombing nearby, and the entire camp loses power. In the darkness, the prisoners rush to exit the tunnel, using the blackout as cover. But then, Cavendish trips over his suitcase, making a loud noise. Though he escapes, the noise alerts the guards. They search the area and eventually find the barracks where the prisoners had prepared for escape. Still, Roger's core team and several officers vanish into the forest. Captain Ramsey chooses to stay behind due to his injured leg. By morning, 76 prisoners have successfully escaped. Those still in camp are unharmed, but outside, the SS and Gestapo begin a brutal manhunt. They swarm train stations, roads, and border crossings. At one station, several escapees wait for a train, unaware it's filled with SS and Gestapo soldiers. Meanwhile, Sedgwick steals a bicycle and heads for the border. Captain Hiltz ambushes a German soldier, steals his motorcycle, and speeds towards Switzerland. Danny and Willie take a river route, steal a boat, and avoid the towns. Other escapees travel on foot, hitchhike, or disguise themselves, but one by one, most are recaptured. Roger and MacDonald manage to board a train heading toward the border. They are briefly stopped by the Gestapo, but they get through because they speak fluent German. Captain Hiltz races toward the Swiss border, but he runs into a barbed wire fence. As German soldiers chase him, he bravely attempts an acrobatic jump over the fence. Roger gets off the train, but is recognized by the Gestapo. Ashley refuses to let his commander be captured. He kills the Gestapo agent to save Roger, but is shot and killed in the process. Roger uses the chaos to escape. Hendley and Collins steal a training aircraft. From the sky, they finally spot the Swiss border. But Hendley realizes too late that the plane is damaged and must crash land. Colin is shot as he tries to get up from the wreckage, and Hendley is captured again.
Hendley!
Sedgwick makes it to France and finds a cafe run by local resistance fighters. He asks for help, and they assist him in crossing into Spain. Meanwhile, MacDonald isn't as lucky. As he's about to board a bus, he falls for a Gestapo trap and accidentally speaks English.
Au revoir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Roger, despite his German fluency, is also captured when the Gestapo recognize his face. A few hours later, 50 escapees, including Roger, are recaptured. They are told they're being returned to the camp. But during the trip, under Hitler's orders, they are taken out of the transport and executed in a field. The next day, other prisoners who were caught but not part of Roger's group are sent back to the camp. Captain Hiltz is once again thrown into solitary confinement. The film ends by revealing that out of 76 prisoners of war who escape, only 3 manage to evade the SS and Gestapo. Sedgwick reaches France and is helped by the local resistance to cross into Spain. Meanwhile, Danny and Willie make a long journey to a port where they board a ship to Sweden, and finally, they gain their freedom.